Hello everyone, my name is Tamira Corporal and I would like to welcome you to the three-part Excel formula series. This quick tutorial series focuses on some of the primary formulas that help me create ad hoc reports in Microsoft Excel 2013. The formulas highlighted in this series are helpful for analyzing large data sets efficiently, trend identification, and tracking. I primarily use these formulas to track performance variances such as spending and output. The third video in this series is going to focus on the index function. I have created a table of sample data to provide a visual of what we will be evaluating throughout the Excel formula series. This video is the final video of my three-part series, with the first and second covering sum ifs and VLOOKUPs respectively. First, we need to understand what exactly the index formula does. The index formula removes the restraint of the vertical lookup and looks through the source data vertically and horizontally to return a specific result. In our example, we're going to create an index formula that returns the total hours billed for the invoices on the list. So let's get started. First, you're going to type an equal sign and the word index and open a parenthesis. Next, you're going to highlight the table where the data that we're looking for is populated. We're going to hit a comma. Next, we need to tell Excel what row it needs to look in to return the data that we are looking for. And how I usually do that with these particular formulas is by using the match formula. And what I'm doing is I'm going to match the invoice number in column I to the invoice number in column B in our source data. So let's type in the word match. Let's open a parenthesis. Our lookup value is going to be our invoice number. We're going to add a comma. Our lookup array is going to be our data in column B. We're going to add a comma. And our match type is going to be exact match. Being that we are trying to get that invoice number exactly, we don't want to go greater than or less than. So we're going to close our parentheses after we select our 0. And then we're going to add a comma here. And the reason why we're adding a comma here is to let Excel know, okay, this is how you find the row number. So our next piece of data that we're going to enter into our formula is the column number. And the column number is going to tell Excel exactly where to get the data that needs to be returned. In our example, we are looking for the hours billed for invoice number 1017. And that is column F in our source data, or the number 6. So we're going to type in the number 6, we're going to close our parentheses, and we're going to hit enter. Okay, we have 7802. All right, so if we look at our source data, we see invoice number 1017 was billed 78.02 hours. That's great, our formula works. But we also need to do the same thing for 2 additional invoices. So we're going to have to tweak our formula a little bit to tell Excel when we move this formula down, the additional 2 rows, what portions of our formula should stay the same and what should change. So here, remember our first piece of input to this formula was the range, our table, our data table itself. We want that to stay the same. So we are going to tell Excel to keep that the same by adding dollar signs. Next, in our match function, our first piece of data that was entered into our match function was the invoice number. We want that to change for each additional row. We always wanted to look for the invoice number that is stated on the particular row that we are putting the formula in. However, we wanted to continue to look in the invoice column. So we are going to keep this range exactly the same by adding dollar signs. And of course, we want our formula to return the exact result every time, so we're not going to change that. And we also want it to return the values in column 6, which is our hours, so we're not going to change that either. So now that we made all the changes that we need to make to our index formula to be able to traverse it down to the next 2 rows, we're going to hit enter. Okay? Now we're going to go back up to that row. We're going to hit our little square, and we're going to drag our formula down. And now we're going to qual check our formula. So for invoice 1021, we have 100.83 hours, correct. For invoice number 1028, we have 110.45 hours. That is correct. And that is a quick tutorial on an index function. In summary, indexes are very useful when you need to find specific values or text in large amounts of data in Excel without the limitation of direction which is present in the VLOOKUP formula. The formula flow for an index is the table you are looking for criteria in, don't forget to include those headers, the row containing the information you wish to find, and finally, the column that contains the data you wish to return. Please like the video if it was helpful to you. Again, my name is Tamira Corporal, and I thank you for watching.